I don't hear
as he
anything.
steps up. Yeah.
Did you not hear me, Mr. President? Are we ready to talk
I heard you say
sponsorship?
sponsorship. Okay, folks, if I can have your attention, I'd like to call our meeting to order. That must be Ken.
It is.
We do not have a quorum this evening to have a regular voting meeting, but we do have some folks that have joined us from the community. We'd like to meet them, and we're going to go over some things with our celebration. We're going to go around the room first to introduce each other. I'm Dave Clifton, the chair of our Tricentennial celebration, which is scheduled for 2025. This is a regular meeting, the meeting of August 22nd. I am calling the meeting to order. It's not a voting meeting, and I will open up the door. I'm going to pass it over to Michelle to introduce herself, and then we'll go around the room. And a special thank you to the folks who showed up for the first time in the community, and thank you, Michelle, for getting them to join us. And we hope that they'll continue to come back and be involved in our celebration. Go ahead, Michelle.
I am Michelle McGee, and I am the vice chair of the Tricentennial Committee.
I'm Chris Ventresco, and I don't know if it's official yet or not, but I'll be working on the book for the year's events.
Ken?
I'm Ken Michael, and I guess I'm head of the business.
My name is Lindsay. I'm new to the community. I love to network. I am very outgoing, and so I'm happy to be here tonight.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I'm Elizabeth Starr, and I'm new to this committee, and we moved here to Easton, I think, when it was soon to be celebrating the 275th anniversary. So I remember the wonderful to-do about that, and I'm very happy to be invited here, pleased, honored, and look forward to working with you all.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Okay. I'm Diane Sardi, and I'm the secretary.
We'd like to say to the folks out there that this is our final meeting here at the Bank of Easton. We'd like to thank them very much. I did thank President John and Jennifer in the past, but we've had the honor of meeting here in their boardroom during the summer season. Although tonight we will not be officially voting on anything because we do not have a quorum as a result of folks with their working occupations. Some are traveling, some have sickness in the family, a reason why they could not be here this evening. So we thought it would be a good idea to invite some folks from the community and talk about our celebration and let people out there in the community know that we certainly need volunteers to participate in the celebration. We got a big fundraising challenge that we're going to be sending out to the community to pay for all of the events, and we'll mention some of the signature events that we have decided on as a committee. To those folks out there that may be watching, if we do have illnesses, we certainly hope for a speedy recovery. And I would like to say that we're going to kind of skip over our agenda this evening and talk with some of the folks. So Michelle, I'm going to let you once again introduce a couple of folks that you invited to join us this evening. And we hope there are other people out there in the Eastern community that will come join us as we plan and prepare for 2025.
Yeah, so I guess I'll talk a little bit about like our structure and what's been going on. So we're a 10-member committee that was appointed by the select board, 9 voting members. We have 1 select board representative, and that's Mark Lamb. But Dave is our chair, and I am the vice chair, and Diane is our secretary, and Ken is our business relations coordinator. We also have Dale Carrister is our community relations chair. Courtney Pupkin is our sponsorship fundraising chair. Mike Good is our marketing communications person. Nora Youssef is on our committee, and Jeanette Kamara is our treasurer. So that is the 10 people on the committee. And do you want to talk about the signature events, or would you like me to do that?
I can talk about the signature events. I can start and you can jump in just in case I miss anything, but we wanted to kick off our celebration. These are events that are sponsored by our committee. We're hoping when we put down the calendar of events throughout the year 2025 that we would invite all the organizations and groups in the town that have had annual events and to make them part of our schedule. We might even be asking folks to consider beefing up their events during the year 2025. We intend to start off with our first day celebration, and we certainly thank both Amanda and Anne Marie for coordinating that event. And it'll be done to kick off the year 2025. We have intentions of having a Tricentennial Art Festival. We're thinking in lines of a weekend where we can not only have an art festival, but invite different artists or theater groups to come in and to perform in the community. We certainly realize how important the arts are to the folks who live here in the town of Easton. The Tricentennial fireworks display. It's been a long time since we've had fireworks in the town of Easton. We selected Flag Day, which is June 10th. And on that particular day, we hope to have a picnic during the day, a band concert before the fireworks go off. Right now, we're still working on the site. We know what day it's going to happen. And our intention as a committee, and as Michelle mentioned, there are 10 of us. 1 member is a select board member. But our hope by the end of 2023 is to be able to know what the events are, who's going to run them, what the events are going to cost. We also would like to be able to fill all the committees up with enough volunteers to make it happen. For example, it may take 30, 35 people just to do a parade. So there are lots of people that are needed to put a celebration like this together. We call it teamwork. The next event that we're talking about is the picnic, and I'm going to have you talk about the picnic, Michelle, if you would.
Awesome, very good. I'm just going to introduce Mary. Mary is also a community member who is interested in getting involved. So we have
Thank you, Mary.
4 community members here tonight. If we had 1 more, maybe we could have a pretend quorum.
Mary's got a steady smile on her face, so she knows this is going to be a fun committee.
Yes,
to be
yes.
with.
So just to get you up to speed, Mary, we're talking about the 8 signature events that we're going to have in 2025. So Easton's turning 300 in 2025. And our committee was tasked with having a year-long celebration and also to make it all inclusive and diverse and cultural about the past, the present, and the future. So Dave was up to June 14th, which is Flag Day. We are having 2 events on that day. To the community, it will hopefully look like 1 event. For sponsorship levels and coordination, it will be 2 events. We're going to have a townwide picnic followed by fireworks. So right now, our hopeful location is the Governor Eames Estate. I know that they're planning on building like a pavilion there. Maybe we can even have a ribbon cutting or something in 2025 to open that pavilion. So the town picnic, I am the coordinator of the town picnic, and that will be like an old-fashioned town picnic. So we're hoping to have things like hula hoops and three-legged races and things of that sort, like a town-wide tug of war, stuff like that. It's going to be all-inclusive in that bring peanut butter sandwiches and a blanket, but there will be food trucks if you so choose. But in the Ames tradition of clam bakes, we're also hoping to have like a ticketed clam bake. So, but it will be inclusive of sort of like cruising. It's a free event. You want to upgrade and buy a hot dog or a clam bake, there'll be that as well. And then that will be followed by fireworks, which is a different event in that it will have a different sponsor and a different coordinator, but it will be a kind of a whole day for the community. Do you want to
And
continue
the next
that?
event is going to be our anniversary parade. That's going to take place on July 4th.
Which is a Saturday that year. Yep.
The parade lineup is at 9:00 a.m. The parade starts at 10. It's going to begin down by the monument. It's going to go right up Summer Street. It looks like a long parade, but it's less than 2 miles. And the parade's going to be so long it may take up a mile. So it still may not be a problem.
And who's the coordinator?
And the coordinator is Courtney Honan.
Courtney, right?
Yeah, and he has done parades before in the past, so he's had lots of experience with it.
He's our Veteran Services Officer here in Easton.
We do have permission to put a review stand up in front of DPW. So halfway through, we'll have someone on the bandstand, I should say the review stand, to introduce the lineup for the parade. The parade's going to end in the center of town. We're going to paint the street red, white, and blue. And we certainly need the town's permission to do that. I haven't got enough paint to paint that myself, and we do need the permission. The parade's going to end with a block party, and that's where we hope that people in town, after they watch the parade, will come up and join some activities. However, we do not have a coordinator for the block party. There may be some folks here. They just keep coming in, which is terrific.
They do keep coming.
Give some serious consideration if that's something that you might be interested in. We're not only looking for volunteers to participate in the 8 signature events on 6 days, but we're hoping that we can get coordinators. We need a coordinator for the art festival. We need a coordinator for the block party. And we need a coordinator for
The bonfire.
the bonfire. So either folks that are here this evening or maybe folks that may be watching on ECAT, certainly give us a call if you have some interest. My telephone number, 781-690-3476. If you want me to repeat that in case you're driving over a bridge, 781-690-3476.
Or you can go to our website,
And that is
www.easton300.org. So it's Easton 300. Our marketing communication coordinator is hard at work getting that underway. Probably one of the most exciting things we're working on right now is that we don't have a logo yet because we're having a logo contest. And so you can find the details of that on the website. The contest ends on October 31st, so after that we're hoping to have a logo that we can roll out. I wanted to introduce, this is Karen Lima, and she is here because she is also interested. So it's really nice to have so many community members here.
terrific.
Yep.
This is your town. This is your celebration. We just happen to be appointed by the select board to kind of put things together. and how important it is to work far in advance. Before you know it, January 1st, 2024 is here, and that's 1 year away from the first day celebration.
Right.
I'm going to ask Michelle if she would talk about the bonfire, and then I'm going to go to the gala.
So we're on event 7 of the year, and so that will be Indigenous Peoples Weekend, which is in October, and it will be the Saturday of that weekend, which is October 11th. We have not secured a location yet, but we did speak with the fire chief. He did again suggest the Governor Ames Estate for that, but we've talked to a few other locations in town, and we do need some support for that. We need a bonfire kind of coordinator. Our fire chief here in Easton has done many of these in the town that he worked in before this, so not so much concerned about the actual bonfire, but maybe the activities that go along with that. So we're looking for, so let's go through the you do the anniversary ball, and then we can go through the coordinators we need.
Yeah. The gala ball is something that we think is very special. Michelle and I are both co-chairs of that particular event. We met today at Stonehill College with their event coordinator, and we're pretty sure right now that we're going to have a gala event at Stonehill College in their athletic facility, which holds 500 plus people. This is going to be a sit-down dinner, dance. We hope to have a few surprises. Only the people watching tonight and the people here know that we're going to roll out the red carpet. We're going to have trucks there with spotlights. You'll feel like you're walking into Hollywood as we celebrate as a community after a year of celebration. Father John Dunning is going to do the official welcome to Stonehill College. It's going to be a black tie event with gowns. We call it optional. We would never kick anyone out if they showed up without the black tie. The fact is that it'll not only be a dinner, we have a special gift, we have a special band, we have some entertainment, we have planning to have one speaker, not too long, and it'll be an opportunity for us to celebrate a whole year of activity. So we're looking forward to the invitation extended by Stonehill College. They're part of our community. We also hope to use other facilities in the town, like Boylan State Park. And now, what were you going to do next?
Why don't we open it up and see if anybody, well, I was going to mention the coordinators, but you already did. Maybe we can kind of get some discussion going on what people are interested in. So to my left is Chris. Let's go to you first. So we are planning like a yearbook, anniversary book. So this book will be after the fact. It will be the year of the celebration. We did discuss also doing like a book beforehand, more of a historical book, but there are a lot of historical books out there. So we're really like looking at something for sale after the event where you can kind of see yourself and remember all the things that you did. So I think Chris has stepped up to be our anniversary book coordinator. So talk about it a little, Chris, and you know, what you might need from people and such.
Yeah, I mean, obviously too, and I'll be photographing the events for the year, are just so I'll be kind of jotting down guests and things like that, some of the events that I photographed. That way we could try to keep track of like who people are and put that into the book under captions and things like that. But any like historical significance, whether it be like some of the architecture of like the facilities that we're at, or anything that can tie in to the history of the town and where we're at, would be great too, to kind of, because we can always kind of put a blurb about the historical significance of the event and why we chose that location, and then follow it up with photographs.
That's great.
And kind of like the yearbook, you know, the captions and things like that. I personally am working on a black and white photographic book. It's all Italian influence in Boston and Providence, and it's all black and white photographs. So I do have a few book companies publishers that I'm looking at for that. So I'm gonna, hopefully, if everything works out financially and things like that, maybe we could use them for that.
It's interesting, Chris, being familiar with a couple of other towns in the area, the year anniversary books went like wildfire. Everybody in town wanted a book. They actually had to go back and print more 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
So that they become very popular. It's something that you can save, whether it's your children or grandchildren, they're gonna wanna look at those books. And especially, and I know Ken Michael is familiar with the 250th and the 275th.
We have one here.
I was at the 100th
Yeah.
as well.
Hey Ken, I'm hoping to be at the 350th. I'm just hoping.
I'm planning, not hoping.
Anyways, do you have anything else? I'd like to go to Ken to talk a little bit
Yeah,
about
no.
history.
Great, I should be clear.
Well, anything you'd like to say about the previous celebrations? I know you're a TV star now. Today you were on the Eastern 300 TV show, talking a little bit about the history. Ken is also the president of the Historical Society here in the town of Easton.
And I'm not a bad guy in my own right.
That's right.
I guess the only thing I'd like to say is that, you know, and just kind of reiterate what's been said, it is a community effort. And all of the past, the 100th, the 250th, the 275 that I've attended, were all very, very in-depth, community-oriented. And every facet of the community came together. It seems for a while like, oh God, are we ever going to get this one? Are we ever going to get that one? But factually, it'll all happen. And there'll be times when you're wondering what are we doing here? But as you go along down the road, what you'll find is that everybody gets in line and marches to the same tune. And I think part of that is having people, having the cable TV programs that people can watch and hear what's being said and see what's going on in that context. The second thing, I think, is that people attending talk to other people and say, gee, wouldn't this be a great idea? Now, somebody's go, that's the 275th booklet over there. Oh, no, that's the 250th, sorry. And then there's a 275th around. If you ever wanted to see one of these booklets or get one of these booklets, we have some, a few, not many, but some at the Historical Society, which is the railroad station at 80 Mechanic Street downtown. And also, we have it electronically. One of the members of the committee was able to put it up online, and if you want one, you can make a request and you can get it. You can just get a sense of how these overall celebrations come together, who's involved, what they've done. I think if you have a chance and you're really interested, it would be good to look at this.
Quick question. I know this, with this guide here that we have, are we looking to kind of replicate this, or are we looking at maybe upgrading it to like a hardcover type book?
I have a couple of others that I'm going to share with you
Okay.
to use as a guide. I'd like to have not only pictures of all the folks in the community, but I'd like to have some history in there as well. Because when we get to the 350th, which I won't be at, you're going to find out.
Say that. You never know.
I think you're going to be running it.
You could be there.
All right, I'll go.
All right.
The fact is that when you look at that book, when you're planning your next celebration, it becomes very important. And I've looked at a number of books. I got ideas from it. And Chris, I'm hoping that you'll get some ideas as you look through this. And we're going to try to beef up your committee so you have other people who've had some experience in this that either can help take photographs or writers. I know you got
Writers would
Lisa
definitely
in
be
your
a big
group.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could take the pictures.
Yeah.
And we do have Lisa Braxton, who is going, she
Yeah.
volunteered to write,
Okay.
and I'll work on that
Right.
committee as well.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, it would be awesome to kind of make it into like a hard, as long as obviously all the
Yeah.
costs kind of come.
If you look at the 207,
It,
it's a different makeup.
Okay.
Take a look at the cover. So
One of the toughest jobs that I saw was taking all the photographs, Chris. It almost, I remember there were 3 or 4 photographers on the committee, and they all did different things. One did town employees,
Okay.
someone else did community organizations, someone else did buildings. And that's how they got all that material in one book. And it takes a lot. You don't want to miss anybody.
Yeah.
And which reminds me, Michelle and I wanted to make sure that our committee, there may be some that are watching this evening, that we'd like to do at our next regular meeting, which is scheduled for September 26th. It's going to be at the Queesit House from 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to pass out our hats that give the celebration name on it. And we also want to do a photo of those committee members that have been appointed by the select board. We also would like to do a photo of the coordinators. And we certainly want to make sure that people like myself want to do up my hair and be ready for that photograph.
But we're gonna wear hats.
Someday I may have
I do
to.
need my makeup done.
I would like to give a special shout out to ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television, for covering our meetings during the summer season. They've always had 2 young people here covering the cameras, making sure that our meetings were covered. Again, if you just joined us, this is not a quorum meeting. It's a meeting with some folks from the community to talk about the celebration. I'd also like to thank Courtney Pupkin for her hard work and effort putting the information together for fundraising, and we'll be approaching, her and a committee will be approaching folks to make donations as sponsors of a lot of the major events. So thank you very much, Courtney.
And that's
it's
a
not
need,
an easy job.
That's a need we have as well. We have found that Courtney is our fundraising sponsorship chair, but the sponsorship part and the fundraising part are both so heavy. She's really going down that sponsorship route, so we really are looking for somebody to kind of take the lead on fundraising. Certainly not an all alone issue, but you know, with teams, we're hoping to have about 4 major fundraisers over 2024. It could be a walk, it could be selling t-shirts, like definitely you know, whatever anybody can dream up. It could be, you know, a concert we sell tickets to, but hopefully in 2024 we'll have 4 of those at least, 1 for each season, I would think. But yeah, we're kind of looking for a team on that. We also want to do merch. So would like, once our logo is done, would like somebody to kind of pick up the slack or whatever on, you know, should we do coffee mugs? Like maybe a little research on, you know, you know, what is popular? Do we need a scarf? And that's another part of it too, is one of the things we're looking into is we're looking into giving every community member who attends these events a gift. So at our first day celebration, perhaps it'll be a commemorative mug, like for Coco or something. At our parade, we're hoping to do some kind of like pom-pom in black and orange so that it can be reused again at games. The town picnic, we're hoping that we'll have a sponsor so we can give every family a picnic blanket. So we really are looking at some enormous tasks that we do need help with. Also, under the sponsorship and fundraising, we're planning like a town-wide scavenger hunt for the year of 2025. It will be called Shovels in the Shops, and we are hoping to purchase in bulk many shovels, and then have businesses purchase one of those shovels and decorate it in any way they choose. So if you're a coffee shop, it could be coffee related, or it could be Easton related, or you could have an artist come in and paint it, and you'll hang that somewhere in your store. And we're going to make a town-wide map with, on one side will be all the businesses who have shovels in their shops, and on the other side will be either a picture of the shovel or a number, and you fill out that map, you mail it in, and you know, there'll be a prize or what have you, and then perhaps we will be able to auction those shovels off at the anniversary gala, because if, let's say, 100 businesses participate, there'll only be 100 of those shovels, and you may just really love the one that's hanging in that store, and so it will drive the community out to businesses that perhaps you haven't been to or you didn't even know existed. So I think you know, our main focus is like a very symbiotic relationship with all of our houses of worship, businesses, community members, organizations, groups, committees. We hope to have everybody involved. Dave and I have had some really successful meetings with businesses, had a meeting today with NRT, had a meeting today with Stonehill. So I can say that for the community members that are here, like, as far as like committees and boards go, everyone's happy to see us come. So it's a kind of a cool committee to be on, because it's like all about excitement. So
We're going to,
Yeah.
I'd like to hear from some of the folks who are our guests this evening to get their feeling about this celebration. But before I do that, I wanted to share this coin with you. This came from the superintendent at Southeast Regional Vocational Technical High School. This is something that they use for their 50th anniversary. It's something that Michelle and I are thinking about in terms of a gift that we can give to everybody that attends our gala on December 27, 2025. And with it comes a lapel pen. And this is just an idea. It's not what we're passing out. Ken, I don't know if you got one of these, but we're going to be talking
Who's
to...
dealing with cards? Who's dealing with cards?
And of course, I just think it's an idea of what we're thinking about. Some towns have done this. It's a nice little token to remember. For some reason or other, people don't throw these away. They save them.
I have several of the 275th coins at the Historical Society. And I met with Brian Hoffman and discussed that a couple of weeks ago. Now, they're a little different than these. These are a little more, these are thicker, a little more elaborate, but I'm not sure what they're made of. So I do have, and they came in little small burgundy velvet bags.
nice.
Oh, that's nice.
That's even better.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that's,
No. I know of one town that they had a little box, a case that opened up, and it had the coin in one slot and the lapel pen in another one, and it said "Happy Anniversary" on it. Something like that would be absolutely terrific.
well, it has, on these coins, it does say 207.
That's correct, yeah.
It goes through the whole thing. And it's got a raised figure.
These are beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's just an
I'll
idea.
bring it-
I like
I'll
how they're
bring it.
embossed.
But it's one of the things that, Brian Hoffman is on the
Yeah.
souvenir and merchandise advisory side.
Oh,
He and I went over that at length, as I said, a couple of weeks ago. So you may want to get some input from Brian on that too, because he was going to talk to
Oh,
some
definitely,
community
yeah.
members. But this was one of the concept of having a memorial coin was one that we talked about. And I think it's a good one. I know, as you said a moment ago, people don't throw them away generally. So.
They
Yeah.
don't. They accidentally throw money away, but they seem to hold on to these. I'd like to, at this time, go around the
Yeah,
room
very
in the
nice.
order that you arrived.
Okay.
And I'd like to find out why you're here outside of Michelle contacting you. Do you have interest in the celebration? Please introduce yourself again.
Absolutely, yes. I'm Elizabeth Starr, and our family moved here 27 years ago, I think, something like that. Let's see, I have to go by the age of our kids. I think that's about right, maybe 28. And besides being very much a fan of Michelle, I'm also, and Chris, Mr. Ventures, that I'm very proud to be a part of this, and I think you have such a wonderful plan already laid out. And because I'm a teacher at the high school, I naturally think of how we can involve our students,
Terrific.
talented students, through what first comes to mind is media that
Yep.
might be able to help
Yeah.
Mr. Francesco with pictures and involving the youth, you know, in this glorious celebration so they can learn more and, you know, enjoy and appreciate their town. And also the art students who might be able to do something with those shovels you're talking about.
Yep.
I love that idea.
That's a great idea.
My son and daughter-in-law also live here in Easton on Pond Street, and I know that Kristen Valar, the star, would love to be a part of this also.
Oh, great.
She's had some great ideas, I'm sure. But so thinking about those, you know, shovels, I love that idea in
Good.
the town, and maybe they could be painted with, you know, historical events that
Yep.
are a part of our history. And also I'm thinking about that book, which I'm already looking forward to, that maybe it could also be a calendar that could stretch it out further, you know, for some of those select pictures that you put on there. Because being
It's
a
a
teacher, I
great
use our town calendar all the time. I have two in my room, one at my desk
So you
and
have
one
a
at the door.
community calendar.
Yes. And especially one that's, you know, focusing on the events,
Gosh, that's a great idea,
you know,
Elizabeth.
that already happened the next
Oh, yeah,
year, or
absolutely.
even leading up to it.
Right.
So on the calendar that exists,
Yeah.
you know, talk about this time next year, you could be doing this.
That's great.
So a pre and
Yeah.
post calendar.
And I had also mentioned to Dave too, something to keep in mind for like the fireworks is if you have those fireworks behind something as spectacular as maybe the bell at Borderland or something like that, you could sell like limited edition like prints from
Yes.
the whole celebration.
Yeah, that's a great.
But they have to be, you know, the fireworks, that's why you'd have to kind of pre-plan where those fireworks, so that they're in the right
Right,
spots.
right. That's
So-
a great idea, Elizabeth. One of the things that we were thinking about doing is on our website, starting on January 1st, 2024, is doing like a daily blog post that says like, where will you be on
That's
January
awesome,
1st,
yeah.
2025? And we have something for all of those things. Because one of the things we maybe just touched on is we are reaching out to the community for their already established events. So NRT's Harvest Festival or you know, the Lions Club Holiday Festival, and asking them or allowing them or whatever to say, you know, this is the Tricentennial Harvest Festival, using that name, using our logo. Perhaps they have a draw that year. I always say, like, maybe in 1725, ox poles were popular. Like, maybe
Right.
they could have thing at their Harvest Festival that's kind of from the past or something like that. But we could feasibly have 365 things going on. It might be just something small, like don't forget to buy your Tricentennial mug and maybe list the places where they'll be sold or something like that. But
And I've already seen social media today.
Yes.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did as well.
Good, good,
Yes.
good.
Social media, like it can go so far, like shopping carts, you know, the ad that you have
Yeah.
on the
That's
ready,
right. Yes.
you know, shop your way to Tricentennial Day.
Yes.
But I don't know.
As
But
a matter of
this-
fact, Elizabeth, we've already met with the school people at Southeast as well as the superintendent of schools. And we're going to be putting 300 patches a year on all the athletic uniforms.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So people are going to be seeing that and they're going to be saying, wow.
Right.
I thank you, Elizabeth, for your comments, and I hope that you'll continue to come back to our meetings
Yeah, perhaps.
and think about how you'd like to get yourself involved to help our committee out.
Yeah, perhaps a school liaison, we haven't thought of that, or, but we did have a really
Okay.
successful meeting with Superintendent Cabral.
Yes.
Super supportive, and
Absolutely.
also she's so community oriented, that new Grand Change school, and they just had the open house and ribbon cutting this past weekend.
Yes.
She is really interested in making that school be open to the public, having walking paths for, adults during the day, and incorporating the Council on Aging perhaps with the kids. So so lots of possibilities there. Also, we're talking about some lasting things that we want to leave to the community, like fireworks are great and a picnic's great, but what are we gonna leave behind? We've talked about perhaps this town needs a mural, and maybe we could use the students at the high school to paint
Right.
that mural. Things like that. We're also having, like we mentioned earlier, a logo contest, hoping that some of the kids at the high school will submit, and
I'm sure they will.
yeah,
I
so
like the lasting idea, like, I'm thinking like a Tricentennial trail. Because
Exactly,
It is such
yes.
it
It is.
could include the schools, because now especially they're
what a
closed,
great idea,
but,
yeah.
it's something that people could take this walking trail.
And if it's
along
always
with
called that,
historical
yep,
significance along the way.
love that.
So I like that. I'm happy to work with.
Elizabeth, if
School
you
ideas.
could put down your ideas in
Okay.
writing and
Alright.
share that with us, we would appreciate it.
I'm happy to.
And we'd
yes.
also be happy, Diane can take your email and we can add you to, our correspondence when we have minutes to a meeting, or, things like that, so, or anybody.
We'd like to fill our room, not just with the committee members who have been appointed by the select board, but community people and all the coordinators. I predict at some point in time, we'll have a full house in our meetings, everybody participating, and their friends and their friends' friends. Before you know it, it's a large crowd, and we'll get the whole community. Thank you, Elizabeth, very much.
Yes, of course.
We'll
Thank
move
you
on
very
to our
much.
next
Bye.
guest.
Lindsay.
Lindsay, please introduce yourself to the camera.
My name is Lindsay.
No pressure.
I just moved here, so I'm very new to the community. I live right down the street. It's a very gorgeous house, and I'm looking forward to getting to know the community more. I'm coming from East Boston, and I was very involved with the neighborhood in East Boston. I would help support the community, the neighborhood, to keep the neighborhood together, because there's a lot of development and construction going on. So just keeping the same vibe and everybody together. I work for Northeastern University. I handle all the cash that comes in for research. And I'm basically like a mini treasurer for them, lots of money. It's very interesting. But besides that, I am part of a fund committee, and the fund committee is responsible for putting together the conferences for research that we had a conference for the first time on Northeastern Research, and we presented in front of like scientists, the admins for colleges that are in Northeastern, and I had to present. I'm not really a good public speaker yet. I will get there, but I did help.
You're doing a good job right
I
now.
know, right?
Thank you. Yeah, but I did help put together some things. Got Richie's Ice from Everett in and we gave out Rich's Ice at the end. And Christmas parties I'm involved with. So I know kind of really good ideas here and there that I can contribute. I really like the art event. I think it's a great idea. There's a lot of art studios and like, you know, you wouldn't call them starving artists, but the apartments that are designated for artists.
Artist house.
Artist house, yes. I think it'd be awesome to have them on that day. And I do know a really good band, and they're
Good.
local.
Awesome.
And the person who I'm living with here in Easton, we both of us just moved here. We know the band very well, so
That's
we can
wonderful.
reach out to them, and they're very well known in their folk. I'll give you the CD so we can
Okay.
listen to it and see if it's something that we could be added.
Yeah.
What was that? There was another thing. I do have networking for, you know, merchandise swag. You know, you said you want blankets, maybe. So I have a really strong network person that I can help with.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like the fun stuff. I'm outgoing.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
I'm
all
here to
going to be
help.
fun, Lindsay.
It's the best
Thank you
I
very
can
much
do.
for your creativity. You are now a public speaker.
Trying.
You have been knighted.
Yes.
So you brought up the Arts Festival, and just to give a little more information about that. So it's a 4-day event. It's going to be over Patriots Day weekend in April. So it's the 17th through the 21st. So we are looking for someone to sort of coordinate that weekend, but we are also looking for like 4 mini coordinators to each take a day. We imagine that the Friday night of that weekend will be something family oriented. So maybe like a talent show or karaoke or a trivia night, comedy show, something that the whole family can attend together. On Saturday, we're gonna focus on kids. So we'll either do a matinee, maybe acting classes, music lessons, a day for kids. On Sunday, we're hoping to do a day for adults, a play, a theater production, a ticketed item people can go attend. And then on Monday would be sort of like you had mentioned about the artist houses, like an artisan fair, not necessarily a craft fair. Perhaps it will be music, any kind of arts. It is April, so hopefully a little bit indoor, a little bit outdoor, where micro local Easton artists can come and either demo, perform, or sell. So just to be a little bit more like detailed about what that weekend is going to look like, or we hope it will look like.
Terrific. We appreciate your comments, and we'll move on to our next guest.
Mary.
Mary.
Do I need to start this?
Mary
No, you
is,
can talk to us. It's fine.
Mary's smiling still. Okay.
My name's Mary Kutsevich. My family has lived here for quite a while, although I've lived in a lot of other places in the country. And I just like events and gatherings, and this is really the first I'm learning about all these cool things that you have done a lot of excellent work. As my friend here, Lindsay. No, not Lindsay. That's you. Courtney has.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Okay, I missed it.
That's okay. Look, she's taking notes. I love it.
Courtney, yeah. Elizabeth. Yeah, love all those cool ideas, like the path, the trail, the Tricentennial Trail. I mean, I don't really know exactly where I can fit in. I'm a nurse, but I have a history and a lot of other things. But I feel like I can contribute in some beneficial way. I'm feeling it out right now, and yeah.
Shoot the phone.
I used to have an art studio in Minneapolis. I used to organize salons, as in the art of conversation, and gather people together to do different presentations. It's not really appropriate for here, but I certainly can utilize those similar skills. My granddaughter. To do something like that,
Well, thank you very much. I hope that you'll find something in that schedule that I gave you that may be of interest.
Lines, yeah.
If you're not interested in one of the events, you might be interested in helping to find volunteers.
Yep.
There's a lot of jobs that we have. You might want to join some of the committees.
Like organize a bike ride or something.
Yeah,
like I'm
exactly.
more of a physical person. Like, let's teach yoga, let's ride bikes,
Yeah.
let's increase the bike paths.
And-
Let's,
Yeah.
those types of things are like, woo, that's where I can get
And maybe that would be a
nutrition,
fundraiser too, like it'd be nice to have that event during the year, but perhaps it's a bike fundraiser in 2024 or
Right.
something like that. Also, being a nurse, we don't know what kind of volunteers we might need for like a first aid booth at these events and things like that. So
Yeah.
maybe it will come into play like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we're hoping to hold an open house in September for the public to come and kind of learn about this, just like you are tonight. And really emphasizing and driving home the fact that every single person can volunteer for this in some way. My mom, Eastern Lions has the holiday festival. My mom folded all of those maps, and she's like, I'll do that for you, no job too small, right? Like, if you're not a public speaker and you're asking me to do that, or everybody thinks that, come and it's like, I'm not gonna run anything, I don't wanna run anything, and that is absolutely fine. Like, maybe you can give 2 hours on the 4th of July to help the parade coordinator be a block person that keeps the parade moving. We need a nice list of volunteers that can do all different kinds of things. So I wouldn't want anyone to feel like, we're asking them to raise $1 million or, be the face of the Tricentennial. This is definitely a community effort, so.
I also
I'm
keep
gonna,
in contact with a band too.
Yeah, I know you like music.
Yeah.
So we can go to Karen too.
Before we go to Karen,
Yes.
I want to pass a piece of paper around. I'd like to get your names, please print, and I'd like to get your email addresses and your telephone numbers so that we can have that on record. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Karen Lima, and I'm really excited about being involved. This information sheet has my mind going in a million different
That's
directions.
good, that's what we
I'm
want.
not sure what I want to get involved with, but I know it'll be more than one of the events. It's just sort of thinking ahead as we're talking about fundraising. Maybe we can get different restaurants in the area to just one night a month donate 10% of their proceeds towards this event or something like that, because it would also bring in business, because people obviously want to make this successful.
Ken Michael is shaking his head. He agrees with
You
what
agree
you're
with
saying.
that?
I was just falling,
Relations
I was
matter.
falling asleep, Dave.
Oh,
He was
I'm
nodding
sorry,
off,
I'm sorry.
not
I put
nodding.
you to sleep. I'm sorry.
Ken, in his role, the business category, he's going to be communicating with the businesses, and he's looking for someone to work closely with him in an administrative way, because those are the folks that are going to contribute in more ways than one.
Yes.
Sorry
And
to take your time.
No, you have good information. The other thought I had when you handed out these coins is there's a period of time where I was working at, I'm an educator, it's my passion. I was working at Southeastern Regional, and when I would go into the vocational section, first of all, I think all high schools should have a vocational section. It was amazing. I got to see 3 kids making things on 3D printers. The things that these students were doing, I was just in amazement. It was just wonderful. But
That is from Southeast.
okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's what made me think of it is, it would be a nice way to sort of spotlight them, and at the same time have their students involved in making things that end up being cost effective for the committee.
That's fantastic,
so,
yes, yeah.
So,
Thanks for thinking of that.
yeah, so
bringing it up.
even though I probably shouldn't say this out loud, even though I may not be an Easton resident by the time this happens, because renters are crazy at Shovelworks. I've been here since 1981. I taught in the school system for over 33 years. My heart and soul is in Easton. My kids are raised in Easton, so I really want to be a big part of this.
I'm really glad you brought that up too, because one of the things that we have discussed is like, so the logo contest, for example, is open to Easton residents. Or, you know, if you're from Easton, you don't have to still live here to love here. And we have had many people from actually all over the country who grew up here or raised kids here still want to be involved in this. It is about, you know, Easton residents who live here now, but, you know, Easton can be a major part of your heart no matter where you live. You know,
Right.
some people are gone for reasons that they don't want, like maybe they got stationed somewhere else, they're in the military or whatever. If you have a special place in your heart for Easton, I think that's all it's really required.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have even, you know, moved towards the Cape to their vacation homes for this, you know, retirement or whatever. but,
Absolutely,
You know,
yes,
their
or
children.
Florida,
Yeah,
or-
Easton,
yep.
you know, they.
Yep.
You know, I remember coaching Easton Youth baseball and Easton Youth soccer, so
Yeah.
Easton is very much a part of my life. So,
Yes.
so
Thanks.
I'm
Karen.
very excited about this.
Good, I'm excited too. I'm
That's
so
terrific.
excited to have so many community members here tonight.
I think it's terrific. It's a different kind of meeting that we've had,
Yep.
but I think it's a blessing to have volunteers because that's the only way things work. We can't do a lot of things without volunteers. I thank you folks personally for sharing your time, your talent, your ideas, your resources. You might even find someone else that you're friendly with that might join you if you share your ideas with them. And before you know it, we got a full house. So we, the members who have been appointed by the select board, appreciate very much that you came to this meeting. We'd like to see you come back a second time. If you don't show up, I'm going to contact you because I have your email address.
That was a trap.
Michelle will get me there for sure. We're in touch all the time.
But the
We're
more
watching
we
plays.
have
That's right.
involved, the more we're going to be able to do. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, also, so our next meeting, when's our next meeting?
well,
September.
we have a meeting coming up on the 14th of September. If that's correct, I have to look it up here. The 14th of September is,
I don't think
An
we have
open
a
house?
meeting. We're hoping to have an open house,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. You know,
but
another.
September 26th is our next
Next meeting.
regular
And
meeting.
and we'll flip back to Queesit. Queesit was a little too warm to have it on the second floor throughout the summer. So, like Dave said, Bank of Easton has been so gracious to have us here. But we'll flip back to Queesit. I also wanted to say too, like, if there's anything that we talked about tonight that is of interest to you, like reach out. But if you have your own idea, and you want to run in a different direction, we are happy to support that idea, give you volunteers, help, be successful in any other endeavor. This is what we have told businesses and organizations in town. If you have an event you already do or one that you really want to do, we are hoping to have a huge volunteer list. We wouldn't want any businesses to have to hire extra staff in order to do something. We're here to help and provide that kind of support that's needed.
I had a senior adult say to me, 300th anniversary, that's a big time celebration. This whole community should come together and make it happen and do it in a dignified way so that we involve as many people in the community as possible. I think we're getting to the end of our meeting unless someone else has something like to add. Diane, as secretary, is there something you'd like to say?
No, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's been a great
Actually,
meeting.
if
Thank
don't
you,
come,
everybody.
Kitty.
Those folks,
Thank you again.
those
I'm
folks
so
that
glad.
joined us this evening, if you write this number down, I'd appreciate it.
I got my thing.
781-690-3476. That's my telephone number. If you forget the date, the time, the place, you call me, or you can call Michelle. We want to make sure that you come back again because you folks are expressing your viewpoint as members of the community, and we appreciate it. A big thank you to ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television, for covering our meetings during the summer. We look forward to you covering the meetings and certainly covering the things that will happen in the year of 2025. Thank you so much for joining us. This meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, we can open the wine.